Welcome to the Gen X Journey podcast. Dive into all things important to Gen Xers, from advice on aging parents, expert interviews, product reviews, and heartfelt conversations. So put down the joystick, grab your Walkman, dust off your old yearbooks, and welcome to the Gen X Journey.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gen X Journey. This is Noel Kerson with my good friends Keith Abbott and Steve McKelkey. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the top 10, given a top 10 list. And this top 10 list are myths that Gen X parents told us. So,
yeah, you talk about all of the things that we were terrified of when we were children. And we didn't even include how many places we really truly thought quicksand was going to be at because of our cartoons, right? I mean, I thought that was going to be a much bigger deal than it was, right?
In movies.
In everything. Movies, cartoons.
Yeah.
You name it.
It was in a lot of movies, like, oh my gosh, you just think that half of the world is covered in water and land, and the other half is quicksand.
Yeah. No question. Yeah. Unbelievable. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about when we were kids, there were some myths that our parents told us. And I don't know how the network worldwide happened. There was no internet at that age, at that stage in our lives, but somehow every parent had the same set of rules and laws, quote unquote, that we all somehow had to follow. Somehow magically we all had them, right? So let's turn it over to Steve. Steve, we're just going to go, we have a top 10 list with a couple of extra kind of points at the end, but we're just going to kind of go round robin here. And we're going to talk about the things that our parents told us that were clearly lies, but we believed them as law at that point. So what's one that came to your mind, Steve?
Yeah. No doubt everybody heard this one, but if you swallowed your chewing gum, it would take years to digest.
I think they're still in my stomach from when I was 7,
I vividly remember swallowing some Big League Chew and thinking, crap, that's going to be around for a while.
I heard 7. Did y'all hear 7 years?
7 years. Yeah, I remember that.
So even down to the detail, like of how many years it took. Yeah. I'm really kind of trying to figure out like how the heck this happened. How did the myth, where did the myth originate? And then how did it travel?
What carrier pigeon brought this to our families?
Yeah. If you think about chewing gum whenever we were kids, so like different gums had different textures, like big red gum.
Yeah.
That stuff would get hard in like 30 seconds
instantly.
And so like I was convinced that if I accidentally swallow that would be the one that stuck around the longest.
Right.
The Big League Chew, when I swallowed that, I was like, well, that's sort of a soft gum. So hopefully
it kind of melts in your mouth-ish,
Yeah.
You had to like stuff that stuff in there to get it to start turning into gum.
Juicy Fruit was another one. I mean, you just knew that one was going to be around maybe for 2 years, not 7. But,
and Noel had the best cartoon ever of Lucky Stripes, wasn't it? Or what was it? Lucky Stripes?
Lucky Stripes.
And it was a perfect illustration of how short that flavor lasts. I think that the flavor went away before it hit your tongue. So,
oh my gosh, man. Yeah. That before you even got the trash from the gum wrapper into the trash can, no more flavor.
It was already done. But yeah, still 7 years of no flavor in your belly. It's crazy.
Well, I could destroy some Big League Chew back in the day. Good grief.
Man, no doubt.
So good. All right.
What was a myth you had, Noel?
So this is a myth about, and I hope this one isn't true, because man, if it was, I'd be hurting right now. It's the myth is that knuckle cracking caused arthritis and stiff joints.
Oh man, don't we all know that we would have 40-inch radius knuckles at this point?
Yeah,
and we would look like Sanford and Son. I got arthritis. Remember that? So Fred Sanford got this because of cracking his knuckles. I'm sure
cracking his knuckles. Yeah, man.
Did you hear that one, Steve?
Oh yeah, I mean, and I still crack my knuckles to these days, but I don't know. I crack my neck a lot. I always, move my head from side to side. I still do. I do a lot when I drive. I'm probably subconscious now. But.
I mean, you think about like every chiropractor, and of course, this is a joke. Okay, don't take this personally, but every chiropractor's caused everybody to have arthritis, apparently, according to what our parents said when we were kids. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought of.
What about you, Keith?
Well, we're getting in the summer months, right? So this is very relevant to people when we were kids, our age at this time of year. And it was all of our parents told us that we had to wait a certain time after we ate before we could get back in the pool. So for me, it was 30 minutes. Did you all have a time?
Yep. Same.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So 30 minutes.
Weird?
Yeah, or else you would be sick.
Our parents didn't know each other, but this
No.
still, like, that's so weird.
Yeah. How did they figure out this? And again, like you said, Noel, how did they get it down to that time? 30 minutes or else you will throw up or have massive stomach cramps or sink to the bottom of the pool and die. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, it was always that way. That was crazy. I mean, and I believed it. I remember eating a hot dog and just having to sit there and like, how about now, Mom? Can I go now, Mom?
Can I put my feet in the pool at least?
Yeah. Right. My feet. Yeah. I thought I asked that one too, but I thought it was like Consumer Reports or something where they had like a group of kids and they had them eat. And then like little Jimmy went in like a minute after he finished eating and he was like struggling. And then they threw another little Jimmy into the pool 5 minutes after he finished eating and he struggled. And then finally at the 30-minute mark, Sammy jumped in, no pain. It's 30 minutes. Tell the world. Like,
that's the approved time. There it is. Thank you, Sammy.
30 minutes, everybody. Get the word out. Put an ad in the newspaper.
No doubt.
Noel brings up a good point. Consumer Reports used to be a much bigger part of our decision making in life than it is now.
For real.
I remember the blue with the white dot in the middle. That's when you knew it was a good product. You know?
Yes. Yep.
Gosh.
Yep.
Steve? That brings back some memories.
It does.
Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah. So the next one is reading. And speaking of reading Consumer Reports, supposedly reading in poorly lit rooms will cause you to go blind.
Oh,
and I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that?
But always just being told you need to go read in better light.
But there was a lot of things. What other things about vision? Did anybody else have things on vision? Like that was a big deal.
Yeah. So I had one. So like sitting too close to your TV.
Yeah. Now look at all of us staring at our monitors like less than a foot away from our faces right now.
Yeah, right.
So and in the dark. I don't even have my light on overhead. And so I'm listening. I'm watching my monitor in the dark. So basically I'm looking at TV in the dark. I should be completely blind immediately. Of course, I'm wearing glasses, so let's not talk about this, but maybe there's something to it.
No, I think that's something else.
To me, it's more about just the aging. And of course, we probably stare at screens more now than we've ever done our entire lifetime.
No question.
And
yeah.
But
we should get an eye doctor on here and ask him or her some of these questions.
I think that's a good idea.
Does that really impact your vision? It's one of these myths. Can you clear up the myth? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little Mythbuster episode or something.
I think that's a good idea. We need to do that. So the one that we did summer. So let's now talk about winter or cold weather. So one of the things that my mom used to always tell me is not to go outside in the cold if I was wet or I had wet hair because I'd catch pneumonia. Right? Did y'all ever have that? Like, don't go out there. You're going to catch pneumonia. Your hair's wet. Did y'all have this?
Yes.
I remember my grandmother saying that more than I remember my mom.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Apparently, there was even Geraldo Rivera proved that coldness and dampness does not cause this. You can take Geraldo with a grain of salt now that we know his Al Capone story, but there you go. Apparently, it's more viral and bacterial than it is cold weather. So anyway, but you always want to keep healthy, right? So let's go with the disclaimer again, but there you go. So that was one that I remember was the wet hair pneumonia thing.
Yeah, totally.
So this one, I don't know if I've heard this one, but it's sort of makes sense, but don't ever wake up a sleepwalker.
Oh, because they'd attack you. That's what I remember them. Like if you try to wake them up, they'll go stir crazy and they'll start punching you or attacking you like a crazy person. I remember that. Noel, do you remember this at all?
I don't remember this one. I don't
really.
I don't. It's not ringing a bell with me, unfortunately. Did you ever? You've heard it? You heard it?
Before? I have. Yeah, I don't think I heard it from my mom and dad, but I remember reading it somewhere when I was a kid, or like all the kids together be like, "Look, if John sleepwalks, just let him go." I'm like, what if he goes into the freeway? Do we just let him go?
Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't want him freaking out.
Yeah, I don't want him freaking out and punch him. I'd rather him just get run over by a car on the highway.
So, are y'all aware if y'all ever sleptwalked before in your life?
I don't know for sure that I ever did. Like there was one time that I remember my mom coming in the next day and telling me, "Do you remember me telling you that you needed to go back to bed?" And I don't remember that. So maybe, but yeah, I didn't. I know people that did. I know people that did, but
I do too. I don't think I've ever done it. I know people that have done it. I know people that don't wear clothing when they sleep and they sleptwalk and left and left their home.
Oh, that's
It
dinner
woke
and a
up.
show.
One of them woke up in his car in the garage, in the driveway, butt naked. So, and I bet he's listening to this, and I'm not going to say his name, obviously, but yeah,
I hope he didn't have a wet hair. He would have caught pneumonia.
yeah, right. It's a double
That's
whammy.
hilarious.
But
No doubt.
nobody wanted to wake him up and freak him out. So that's
man.
good.
What other ones, Noel? Do you have any others?
Yeah. So you guys have probably heard this one. I certainly did. But you swallow in a year, you swallow 7 spiders a year in your sleep.
Oh, that's speaking of creepy.
It is. It is. I've heard this. When Steve, you're like shaking your head. Never heard it?
I mean, I guess not, but
So I'm gonna throw out an embarrassing Gen X thing that is dealing with me right now. Okay, so this is why I'm so happy now that I have a CPAP machine. My face is covered, baby. I don't have to worry about them spiders. Like. But I remember, like, sometimes it'll accidentally fall on the floor, and I'm terrified because I'm like, crap, what bugs just dropped into my tube? Like I'll purge that with a high blast of air before I put it on my face just to make sure anything is in there comes out. So there's a Gen X of today problem.
My wife cannot listen to this episode because she'll be ruined. But who's keeping track of this stat?
I know.
I mean, how do they know?
Yeah. Apparently, mom and dad knew. Who knew?
7, and it's not 6, it's not 4, it's not 3. It's 7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Totally. That's significant, if you ask me.
It is significant. That's scary.
It is.
I mean, you think about how much gum they're stuck in down there. I mean,
oh man, there it is.
There's like a gum spider smorgasbord in our stomach right now.
Oh my gosh, man.
A gelatinous cesspool in our bowels.
Legs sticking out of your big league chew.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh
gosh,
we don't even want to talk about how they got up with the name brown recluse.
The spiders are probably why we know the gum's in our stomach 7 years. They're keeping track for us.
You know it. That's what it is.
There you go.
Makes total sense now.
Steve just solved that one.
It's an easy sell. It makes sense. Yeah. And you know how? Okay, here's another one. You know how these parents kept track of this? Because according to our parents and our teachers, our moms and teachers had eyes in the back of their heads. Y'all hear this one?
Yes,
no matter what, they're watching, because even if their back's turned to you, they got eyes in the back of their heads. So don't do anything stupid.
This one actually might have some merit, man. Like,
I'm telling you,
dude, my mom knew stuff was happening, and there was no way that she saw it happening, but she knew. I think it's I think moms have got gifts, man. That
they've got some sort of clairvoyance, some kind of instinct. I don't know. It's a radar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I don't know about the eyes, but I do know they could catch whatever I was doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We were at a restaurant last night eating dinner, and there was a waiter set up a tray with some dishes and stuff on it, like right next to where Linda was sitting. And there were these people that were coming through the restaurant, like moving these, there was a party room, and they were moving all these party stuff out of the room. And the guy like tipped, like just hit the tray just enough that it started like falling over with all this stuff on top of it. And Linda, not even looking, just like, again, it's that mom sense thing, sense that something bad was just about to happen. And she turned like just as that tray got hit, and she caught everything.
No
kept
way.
it from like slamming on the floor. I was like, holy cow. There was another table that was there, and the guy's like, I don't know how you saw that happening or how you caught that, but wow.
Steve, Linda needed to be with you when you were bringing drinks in to the carpet.
Yeah. That would have been
awesome. Saved your knee and your elbow.
Yes, that's right. And the drinks and the carpet.
And the drinks and the carpet.
Especially the carpet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Total inside conversation we had, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Carpet's really the most important thing if you think
it really
about
is.
It, you know?
Even though Robin did a good job of making it not feel that way. Proud of her.
Yeah. Right.
This cannot be in the episode.
Yeah, right. Because of that, it's staying in.
She was very gracious to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next one that always, give you a moment to pause, especially when you're eating a watermelon, because you knew that seed was going to sneak by. But eating seeds, whether a watermelon or an apple or whatever, will cause a small tree to grow in your stomach.
Watermelon especially, and I remember that. You can't eat that. There's going to be a watermelon vine growing in your stomach. What? How does that even happen? Oh, I heard that all the time.
I did too.
That's how we get our dad bods.
That's true. That's where it is.
Watermelon's finally about to grow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ate one of them seeds about 20 years ago.
Oh man, that's bad.
Yeah.
So that's the top 10 that we've heard, but I know we have a couple more that we talked about. So we'll do 2 more for an honorable mention. So what are some other the last 2 that you can think of?
Yeah, this one was like really particularly said in Asian countries. But if you trim your nails at night, you'll have a bad omen, or it could even cause death.
Yeah, I never actually heard that one, and I think there was even bad one that I heard that was similar to that was you shouldn't cut your nails on a Sunday. So there was a little bit of both. Like the devil will, if you cut your nails on Sunday, the devil will be with you all week or something like that. It's your day of rest. Shouldn't. But and I had read also that was a common thing in like Japan and in Asia countries that this clipping nails thing was kind of bad luck if you did it in the evening. It's interesting. I can't say that I ever heard that one, but after kind of starting to research these curses, that came up a couple of times. Pretty wild.
Steve, you ever heard that?
I that's a new one to me. It's
I trim my nails at all hours of the day and all days of the week, man. It's never.
Me too.
Maybe that does explain some of the bad omens I've had. Now that I think about it, I don't know.
Oh man! I've heard that if you bite your nails and swallow them, it could be a problem. I remember hearing that one.
Really?
Yeah, like it cause like an ulcer, get lodged in your stomach, so you shouldn't do it or whatever. But yeah, pretty crazy. So the last one,
more, Keith?
Yeah, I have the last one, and what's ironic about it is I'm clearly the shortest one of the 3 of us, but I never did this as a child, so I don't know what my excuse is. But I always heard that drinking coffee if you're a kid stunts your growth. Did you all hear this?
Oh
Did their parents tell you this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a reason that they're 6 feet plus. Apparently, I snuck coffee while I was sleepwalking because I don't remember ever drinking coffee, but clearly I had a non-growth spurt for many years. So, but anyway, yeah, I heard that a lot that it would stunt your growth. So you don't want to drink coffee, but then I guess Starbucks and the dawn of the coffee shops have definitely destroyed that theory with every elementary, junior high kid around here that I see with a latte.
No kidding. Yeah, if that's the case, man, we're gonna have a bunch of junior high latte drinking adults when they're not ever gonna grow up.
Yeah,
actually, maybe that does explain some of what's
feisty.
Some of what's going on in our culture right now.
It could be. I think it's an ADD thing more than a growth thing, but that might be my
sure.
the Gen X myth that we tell our kids or something. I don't know, but. Yeah. But that's a pretty good summary of the things that we were terrified of as children, and then some other things that I learned that other people had. So pretty crazy.
It's impressive to think about how highly coordinated our parents were with these myths, or in my opinion, tall tales or whatever it is, lies, whatever you want to call it.
Blatant lies, all of them
lies, just to try to keep us under their control a little bit. But
smart. Smart.
I'm still
I wish there'd be something that we could say, like, sorry that the radiation in your phone is going to cause you to be sterile, and we could keep the kids off the phone or something, but they probably wouldn't care.
So. I'm still intrigued at how word spread, like in specific details were spread across the whole.
Yeah. I mean, the 3 of us growing up lived multiple hours from each other. No way.
Yeah.
No way. Community and in different size communities, different cultures, no way they would have spread. That's crazy.
But these important medical tips all made their way into each of our homes. Through Reader's Digest or
no question.
National Geographic or something.
Or
National Enquirer.
News. Yeah.
We never got to watch the 10 o'clock news until we were teenagers.
That's true.
And so maybe it's how they did that.
Maybe that from 10:25 to 10:30. Okay, here's where we're going to kind of be all on the same page, parents. And this is why the parents, they said you have to have your kids in bed by 10 because there is a national initiative going on. Today it is eating seeds causes plants in your stomach. Go.
Now remember, tell your kids.
Season.
Yeah. Stay tuned next week for coffee stunting your growth.
Tune in next week to find out exactly how long you have to wait before you can go eat. Go get them full after you've eaten.
Go get them full.
It has to be exactly 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Not 29.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not 28.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, that was a good one. I appreciate this little rundown, terrifying memory lane.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Good stuff,
I'll be
guys.
curious to hear from our listeners if there's any myths that were shared with from their parents or grandparents or other family members that fit this mold, and because this is a good list that we have here, and it's pretty unanimous. We've all heard most of them before, but I bet there's some more out there we haven't heard of. So I bet there is those too as well. Hey, well, thanks everybody for listening to this episode. Great recap of just a ton of things our parents lied to us about, basically. Absolutely. But everybody, join us next time when we bring some more awesomeness from Gen X. Take care.
That's right. Take care, Gen Xers.
Take care, everybody.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the Gen X Journey podcast belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of any entity they are associated with. The information provided is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of qualified professionals for any specific issues they may face. The creators and contributors of this podcast make no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its use.